the Warmness Machine podcast. My name is Lindsay, and this is a Fiber Arts podcast. I'm a crocheter, a knitter, and a spinner. Today's episode is about learning new things and what I've been learning that's new. Before we jump into that, I'd like to address the fact that I haven't been here in a minute. I haven't been here in a minute because I had an injury in my hand and I wasn't crocheting or knitting for months, which was depressing. And then I just decided, well, if I could just mend. So I've been on this mending kick and I've been enjoying that a lot. And if you caught my last episode, I was able to really prolong the life of some jeans for my children, which I enjoy very much. So yeah. That's why I haven't been here. Also seems like there's so much going on in the world, and it's hard to want to show up when there's so much crazy stuff. I say the world, but it's just happening here now. So we're our own problem. Whoop-de-woo. Okay. So now that I've gotten those things out of the way, how are you? What are you working on? I'd love to know. Really love reading the comments. So if you have anything that you're working on or any thoughts or feelings on how things are going in your life, I'd love to hear it. I have one finished object that's completely finished, and I'd love to share it with you. I'm drinking some mushroom coffee that my mother-in-law gave me. It's awesome. Because I can't have real coffee, otherwise I'll get messed up. And my Star Trek mug that I commandeered from my husband. Yeah, that's really, sorry. It tastes better when I make sounds with it. So the first thing that I completed this after my injury, I came back to it. I'm going to show you the book. This book, the Shetland Trader. Hold on one second. I have a little one in here. Train. So when I love the train. When I record, here, I'll give it a minute. When I record, I close the bedroom door, which is not a real thing. We don't close doors, in this home. So they're all anytime a door is closed, somebody has to open it. Okay. So this book, The Shetland Trader, it's book 3, Heritage. It is, all these patterns are from Gudrun Johnston. And I had some random yarn that I got from a knit night at the library, because I do love going to the library. And this one, Snaraness. Snaraness means another home we briefly lived in while my dad was renovating the ruined croft, Little Bousta. This is it. I made this for my friend with some lace weight yarn. I think I have this is Ella Ray Rustic Lace, New Zealand wool and silk blend. It was lovely to work with, and let me show you another picture before I show you what I made. So this was a lot of fun, super duper easy lace pattern. I enjoyed it very, very much. Very, very much. So let me show you. So when I didn't do all the repeats for the lace, because at some point, I'm a loose knitter, and at some point it was kind of like, I think this is big enough, and it truly is. This is going to my beautiful friend, who's also happens to be my daughter's godmother. So there's that. Yeah, so I'm excited to send that to her. She actually likes to wear a lot of things on her hair. She has beautiful, gorgeous hair, and she usually wraps it up, but wrap it up with this. So, or it's like a kerchief, like an ascot actually, and she loves that too. So you could just like wrap it and just like go out. She's very fashionable. My beautiful friend. So yeah, this is one of the first things I've made for a friend, and I'd actually like to start making more things for my friends because I love them. So why wouldn't I make things for my friends? I don't get a chance to as much as I'd like, but that's okay. That's totally okay. So that's my only finished object, but I would like to show you a bag I finished that I'm still working on with my new hobby. If you're unaware, sadly, Joann Fabrics is going out of business. There used to also be like Hancock Fabrics, which is where I took a sewing class with my godmother. My godmother, so cool. So the Woolly Thistle, and I'm probably gonna buy a bag anyway. The Woolly Thistle has these Harris tweed bags, and they're amazing. The Woolly Thistle is an online yarn shop. I love them. I love the whole energy of that. Everybody on there, love them. I have yet to purchase wool from them. I've purchased a few other things, but not like wool. Books and maybe something else, but not wool. So that was my goal this year. Now with the tariffs, I'm going to do it anyway because I want to support that business. I do not want that business to go under. I love the Woolly Thistle. So in the meantime, before everything else, I thought, oh, I'll just make myself a bag like that because I have a lot of yarn that I need to use anyway. Let me show you what I made. I made this bag, and you're probably like, what's on it? Well, this is where the second part comes in. It's got this bottom. It's nice and it's pretty. It's nice and deep. It's nice and deep. This is the lining. I've already applied some interfacing on it, and I'll probably, steam it again and before I sew it, obviously. And maybe I'll get a zipper. Who knows? I have a zipper. Maybe I will. So this is just some words. I'm embroidering 7 with 1 blow. It's an old Grimm Brothers. It's from the Brothers Grimm. So if you don't know, the Brothers Grimm are 2 brothers who went around, I think the German countryside, collecting scary stories, and they put it in a book. And some of them are scary and some of them are just regular. And this one is just a regular story it's called The Little Tailor, even though the book that I read is called The Little Seamstress, and it's just an adaptation. Not an adaptation, it's like when they change it a little bit. And in the story, the whole beginning of the story is this little seamstress was in her in her studio. We'll call it a studio for updated purposes. She's in her studio, she was sewing, and there were a bunch of gnats, a bunch of flies in her studio. She was like, you don't get out of here. She hit them with her rag, and she killed 7 with one blow. And I love that phrase. I'm really into words. So this one, 7 with one blow. So I'm putting that on here, and I'm adding some other little touches and things, and I'm just going to be practicing some embroidery on this bag, and this will be my little whatever bag that I can carry with me wherever. I love it. Probably still gonna buy a Harris tweed bag because I have problems. I like bags. My daughter likes bags. My mother has a bunch of bags. My grandmother has a bunch of bags. Are you seeing a trend? So yes. And I'm just using some extra yarn. How I got, and so this is what I got from Joann's, this cheap one, and then I bought a really nice one because I watched the episode of Fruity Knitting with embroidery on knits, and I will leave a link to that below because that was an amazing episode. Love Fruity Knitting, love them, just love. I'll show you what else. This is I bought this for myself, I think for my birthday. And this is just some of the embroidery things I picked up from Joann's and some I purchased online. And I got that from Joann's. Yeah, just random stuff, random floss. And this is kind of a flimsy box, but I just need to make sure that it's safe. I also have this pin. It's from Passion Knits Yarn, which is no longer with us anymore. They stopped, I stopped dyeing yarn, the dyer, which makes me really sad because there's a fiber festival not close by. We have to drive to it, but it's like 45-minute drive or so, 30 to 45-minute drive. The Frederick Fiber Festival, and she's always there, and I always buy something from her. So I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad, and I'm allowed to be sad. I'm allowed. So yeah. Now, those are the things that I'm working on. I'm working on the last installment in my Grow sweater. Let me remind you, I purchased this book, Slow Knitting by Hannah Thiessen. And I purchased yarn for this sweater that I've been in love with. And I am learning how to do cables. Not yet, but I will be. This pattern is by Norah Gaughan, and if you know anything about her, you know that she's a really interesting pattern designer. She just has really interesting ways of coming up with patterns. And this pattern is done with set-in sleeves, and it's made in pieces. And I have the sleeves done. You start with the sleeves, you do the back, and then you do the front, and then you seam everything together. Oh my goodness, I love that. I don't like doing top-down sweaters. I know everybody else does. I mean, I don't mind a raglan, and I don't mind doing bottom-up. I actually love designing a bottom-up sweater. But the issue is like, I really don't want to carry a bunch of yarn with me and have a bunch of stuff in a bag, because usually where I'm going, we don't need roads. No, I'm just joking. Where I'm going, I need to like just a little project or a little bag to like stuff in the car, grab quickly off the table or something. I don't want anything big. Yeah, so that's been my thing. That's why I like these little bags, because then, you know, if I'm at a meeting, I just whip out my little bag, start doing something, and no one cares. No one, some people care. Some people care about knitting, and some people don't, and some people just watch in silence, which, hey, observe. I love answering questions, but sometimes people are just too shy to ask me anything. Nevertheless, if I'm at some sort of game, if I'm at a practice, a class, PTA meeting, I'm on the library board, so I'm going to those meetings, I'm going to all the I'm going to story times. I want to have a little something. I could just do a little knitting, get a couple stitches in. So that's a segue into the bag behind me. So this is a redesign project. This is from, I think, the Netherlands. It's a leather bag. I'm a vegetarian, but I do believe that using leather is a good way to be sustainable with our practices. So that's how I justify it. I know I didn't even have to say anything because you don't know, but I have to say something, because if I'm not going to purchase a fake leather bag. To me, that's just plastic. So inside this bag, I have my little DPNs that I've assorted through the years. And I am working on a beautiful sock pattern. Not all the yarn is in here. It holds a couple. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just showing you. I got this, so I asked my husband to buy this from Stephen and Penelope's website in November, and they were sold out. And so I found it on the Farmer's Daughter's website, which is stateside. And I thought I better purchase that now because the price is going to go up. Sure enough, the price went up. And it is what it is. But I love it. And my daughter loves it. They also have one that looks like a little, I'm not selling you anything. They have one of these that looks like a little doctor bag, like an old doctor style bag that kind of opens up at the top. Can I be honest? I would buy that just because I like bags. So I've got my little hand cream in here, and I've got my pattern. I am working my way through this book. This is Charming Colorwork Socks by Charlotte Stone. And if you are buying her patterns on Ravelry, she goes by Stone Knits. The name of the pattern that I'm doing is the first pattern in the book, and it's called Autumn Mice. Let me show you the full picture. What I love about this is the lace. I love a little lace. I think we know that. I think we know that by now. I love doing lace. So I'm really excited to continue and work on this when I have time. In this little beautiful bag that I made with hand spun, I'm working on a shawl design. So I'm not going to show it to you, but it's just with leftover yarn. So I'm trying to get a feel for the pattern right now. So I hope to share that with you later. The last thing, there's two things that I'm working on. When I couldn't knit or crochet, I warped my rigid heddle loom. So that was, it's on my bed because it's usually here. Weaving is fun, but then I thought, am I using this yarn? I just felt some kind of way. I'm using hand spun, and I'm not really good with colors on the loom as of yet. I'll show it to you later when I finish it. I'm sure I'll love it. Or if I don't love it, you know who I can give it to? My mother, because my mother's a gem, and she loves anything I make for her. She doesn't care. I only have a few, like a little bit, like this much left to spin for my crepe yarn. I should make a list of what I'm gonna do to get that going. But hopefully I can figure that out soon. Yeah, that's what I hope. Okay. So now let's get to my children's book recommendation for this month. I wasn't trying to actually, I wanted a different book, but I kept it too long. The kids loved it. So next one, we'll do that book. But this one I found kind of by accident. I just wanted to read something interesting and different. This one is called Me and the Boss. Me and the Boss, a story about mending and love by Michelle Edwards and April Harrison. This book is, now who's the boss? I'll tell you. The first page. I know big sisters. Zora, the boss, she's mine. I go wherever she goes, and we are always home before dark. Those are the rules. So his sister takes him to where? The library, where there is a class on embroidery from the librarian. And this is about what the younger brother, whose name is Lee, learns at the library, and how that impacts his relationship with the boss, his sister. He didn't say she was bossy. You know, he didn't use those kinds of languages. He said she's the boss. It means he got to listen to her. She knows what to do. And I love the way they tell the story through the pictures. And I think it's just an amazing book. And at the very end, there is how to make a smiling moon with embroidery. And I just love that. So my daughter, because I'm who I am, my daughter is, she stitched her name into one of these, and then she said, I want to do another one. So this one says best sister ever on this little hoop, and the needle's not attached. I think we know why it's not attached, because I took it off so she wouldn't lose it. But every so often she'll come and stitch, and she's fairly young, so the fact that she can follow the lines, you know, she's not the best at you know, making the curves or things, but she can follow the lines really, really well. And so I think it's a great activity for maybe 4 or 5 and up, you know. Yeah. So because, you know, Joann's was going out of business, sadly, I was able to get this little embroidery hoop, and I have some random fabric and some thread, so we just used a darning needle, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that's my book recommendation, Me and the Boss, a story about mending and love by Michelle Edwards and April Harrison. Thank you so much for joining me. Have the best time with your making. Please tell me what you're working on. Tell me how you're feeling. And I will see you next month for sure, if not sooner. Bye for now. My little table was confiscated, so I had to take a little break, come back, so. My little table was confiscated by my children. Oh no.